Hey everybody, it's Amber Peterson with Southern Comfort Insurance. Thank you for watching today. I'm in my truck because we're going to talk about two things. Have you ever asked yourself these two questions? Why is my auto insurance so high? And what can I do to fix it? What can I do to lower it? So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer video. So, I do want to educate. It's just come to my attention after talking with a few of my family members that a lot of people just don't know what they have. They don't know their coverage. So if you have your, like an app, or if you can go and get your declaration page and kind of follow along with me, go ahead and do that because I really want to dive into it. What your declaration page is, if you don't know that, whenever you have an auto policy, when you initially get it, they email you usually a really long policy, these policy documents, and it's like 50 pages. Don't go through all those. There is usually 1 to 2, maybe 3 pages, depending on who you have. And it's a snapshot. It's called a declaration page, and that's going to be a simple snapshot, and it is going to include the coverages line by line and then the premium. So if you can grab that and follow along with me, that would be great. And hopefully at the end of the video, you have some answers to those questions. Why is it so high, and what can I do to lower it? So the first thing that I want to talk about is where the bulk of your premium is and where it comes from. So you're going to have 3 main things that's going to really kind of be like the meat and potatoes of your whole entire auto insurance policy, and the bulk of what you're paying. So that's going to be a BI, which is bodily injury. That covers the other person, okay, not you. The other person in the event that you injure them and they have medical bills. So that is usually, like 10, 20, 25, 50. If you're looking at your declaration page, 100, 300. So what that means is, let's just say you injure a family of 4. And it's a really bad accident. The car flips, there's ambulance, everybody's rushed to the hospital. And let's just say, I'll throw this in there. Let's just say that the driver of that other vehicle is a doctor, and you injure that entire family. Do you think if you have 10, 20, or even 25, 50 for bodily injury, that $50,000, $20,000 is going to cover that family's medical injuries? No, it's not. So basically, that family, especially, let's talk about the doctor. If he injured his hand in that accident and now he can't perform surgery, they can sue you. So that is why you carry bodily injury, and that is why you should carry higher limits versus state minimum, okay, which is 1020. So just that's what it is. It's for them, it's not for you. That's bodily injury. The next thing is property damage. So PD, if you see that, that is for, if you damage like an object, a building, that is also for them, okay, not for you. So if you damage somebody's property, that is what property damage is for. The other thing that's going to be kind of like a heavy part of that premium is called UM, which is uninsured motorist. So who knows in Florida how many people drive without insurance, or they drive with crappy insurance, right? State minimum. No offense to anybody who has that. I'm just trying to speak truth. So what that means is that is for you. Uninsured motorist is for you. Your liability, your medical bills. If you are in an accident and that person is either uninsured or they don't have enough insurance to pay and help pay towards your medical bills. So UM is not required. And you can either do it stacked or non-stacked. That's really lengthy, so I'm not going to go into the stacked versus non-stacked, but you can ask your agent. So those are kind of the 3 things, the 3 items that are going to weigh heavily on that total premium, whether you pay every 6 months or you pay annually. The other items that, so PIP, PIP, that's personal injury protection. So in Florida, we're known as a no-fault state. So that means that the PIP, PIP is for you, they call it like the first 10, right? The first 10,000. Doesn't matter who's at fault. Doesn't matter if you T-boned them or they T-boned you. It's required. Okay, that is a requirement to carry PIP in Florida. That is $10,000, and it doesn't matter who's at fault. It's going to be covering, that you for the first 10,000, and it's usually like 80% of medical bills and 60% of lost wages if you had to miss work. Okay, that's PIP. And then, so the other kind of like side dishes, I talked about the meat and potatoes. That's the bulk of the premium. The side dishes that you can add would be comprehensive, collision, rent, towing. So what collision is, think of it, collide. Okay, collide. Collision is also one of those things that's like covering you. It's not for them. Comprehensive is things like fire, theft, weather. Okay, if you do claims on those, that is again for you, for your vehicle. If your vehicle is damaged from either colliding or with another vehicle, a telephone pole, or comprehensive if your vehicle flooded and one of the hurricanes. Those are the two items, and you can move those deductibles. So if you have, I don't know, $10,000 or $8,000 worth of damage and your deductible is $500 or $1,000, that's what you're going to pay in order for the insurance to pick up and pay the remainder. Okay. Towing and rental, that's pretty self-explanatory. If your vehicle breaks down and you need a rental car. So those little side dishes you can add and remove, and you can, increase and decrease the deductible. So basically just that's the bulk of your declaration page. That is pretty much everything. Sometimes you can add like golf cart liability, or if you pull a trailer, you can add different endorsements on your auto policy. But hopefully everybody understands that. And again, sorry, it's going to be a little bit of a lengthy video. Now, that should answer, that's like the first question, right? Why is my insurance so high? Those coverages equals the total of your premium. So now, what can you do to lower it? So this is a disclaimer. This is not a recommendation or suggestion. I just get this question all the time, and I figured I would answer it. So obviously, I talked about those three main things that are going to be your heavy hitters on your auto policy, which is the bodily injury and the property damage. So the higher those limits are, the higher your premium's going to be. So check it. If you have like 100, 300 and you're really struggling, you can try lowering that to $25.50. Again, not a suggestion, just saying, if you're struggling to make your payments, I'd rather you have auto insurance and lower your limits than drive around uninsured. So that is one way to kind of dial back the premium. Another way I talked about was your deductibles. It's not really going to move the needle too much, but you can play around. So if you have a $500 deductible right now on comp and collision, which is pretty low, you can increase that, right? You can increase that to $1,000, $2,500. Try that, okay? Uninsured motorist. If you feel like you have amazing medical insurance and you're going to be all right if you are injured, you're not worried about your medical bills, just know that uninsured motorist is not required. So you can remove that. You can lower your limits on that. It doesn't have to match what you cover for others, right? The bodily injury, you can lower it. If you carry 100, 300, you can lower your uninsured motorist to $25.50. Or you can just reject it. And usually if you reject it, your carrier is going to make you sign something saying that you reject it. That is another way to lower it. Another thing is if you carry state minimum, think of auto insurance the way that the carriers like Travelers, Progressive, Allstate, that's called a carrier. Think of them as if you carry state minimum currently, they are looking at you like you're holding a big giant sign that says, I have bad credit. So again, no offense, but if you do that, if you have state minimum, it's going to limit you from the carriers who actually want to take you on as a risk. So if you have state minimum, call your current carrier, okay, and ask to increase those limits. Even if you just increase it a little bit, if you go to 2550, okay, it might take, 1 or 2 cycles of paying a little bit more, bite the bullet, stay with your current carrier, pay a little bit more, increase those limits. After 1 or 2 cycles of having better insurance and looking like, you're more responsible. This is thinking from a carrier standpoint. It will open up more doors for more carriers. So your insurance agent can quote with many other carriers because now you look like a better risk for them. Okay, so that is one thing that you can do that might have you pay a little bit more for a little while, but then in the long run, you'll start to get reduced rates. You'll start to have doors opened with other carriers that you've never been with before that have awesome rates. Let me think. So, those are some items. I mean, and the other thing too is just pay attention, right? Less accidents and less tickets equals lower insurance. It's pretty common sense. So when you're driving on the road, right, pay attention. Everyone here, it's like a melting pot. People live in so many other states and then they move here and they drive way differently. So just watch your surroundings. If you have tickets, just know that year over year, as it gets further away and your record stays clean, your insurance will lower. So it's just a timing thing when it comes to that if you have a lot of tickets. So that's it. I'm 11 minutes in, sorry, but I've talked to so many friends and family and they're like, oh, why is my insurance so high? And what can I do? So that's just some suggestions. Hopefully it was educational for you and you learned a little bit more about what you have for coverage and how you can maybe either get your premium down a little bit or prep yourself for the next couple renewals to, open up more opportunities to get with different insurance carriers. So again, it's Amber Peterson, Southern Comfort Insurance. You can call me at 520-508-9662. You can email me at southerncomfortinsurance@gmail.com. And what's today? Saturday. I hope you have a great weekend. It's beautiful out. Maybe the rains will hold off. If you have a pool, jump in it. That's what I'm doing later. Have a great day. Bye.